Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have started about the excretion. There we have discussed and how during the metabolic processes which are carried within each and every living being, certain types of metabolic waste are generated. The removal of these metabolic wastes are essential from the body from time to time. Otherwise, these metabolic waste may create toxic impact upon the body. In our case, we have discussed the most importantly the nitrogenous waste product which is formed during the metabolism of protein is formed within the liver through a special cycle called as urea cycle. From the liver, the urea is brought to both the kidneys through the help of blood, where the urea present within the blood is removed away through a special type of filtering unit called nephron present within the kidneys. So, this is the structure of nephron. Here, we may observe that the nephron, this is the structural and functional unit of the kidneys which are present more than a million within each kidney. If we go through the structure of kidney, we may have discussed there about the different regions, the cortex region, the medullary region. So within those areas, these filtering units, the nephron are present. If we go through the structure, we may observe the blood vessel which enters within this cup-like depression which is called as Bowman's capsule, forms a tuft of capillaries known as glomerulus. So compositely, the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule is called as Malpighian corpuscle or renal corpuscle. The tubule which gets continued after the Bowman's capsule forms the PCT region which is called as proximal convoluted tubule, and it descends down to form a U-shaped structure which is called as Henle's loop. Here we may go through that. The limb which is going downwards of the Henle loop is called as the descending limb, whereas the limb which is going upwards in the direction to continue as DCT is called as the ascending limb of loop of Henle. Further on, the ascending limb joins the distal convoluted tubule region, and finally it as collecting tubule joins the collecting duct. And after all, the collecting ducts, they unite together of each kidney and they forms the ureter. Here we may observe the blood vessel which enters the Bowman's capsule is having more diameter and it is called as efferent arteriole, whereas the blood vessel which emerges out from the Bowman's capsule is called as efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole, it continues and descends and surrounds the loop of Henle through forming peritubular capillaries which are called as vasa recta, which helps in the proper reabsorption of certain types of metabolites during the formation of urine. So now we'll discuss about the steps in the formation of urine. The three steps which are involved during the formation of urine are the first one, the glomerular filtration, or also known as ultrafiltration, followed by the second step, which is tubular reabsorption, followed by the third step, which is tubular secretion. So the first step, which is the glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration, means the process of filtration which takes place within the glomerulus. As we may have discussed, the diameter of the afferent arteriole is more than to the diameter of the efferent arteriole. So the blood entering through the afferent arteriole within the glomerulus within a unit of time cannot be removed at the same amount within the same unit of time. So it creates a pressure gradient due to which certain types of metabolic waste as well as certain types of ions they gets filtered within the Bowman's capsule. So the filtrate which is formed within the Bowman's capsule is known as glomerular filtrate, and we may know that around about 125 milliliter per minute the glomerular filtrate is formed within an adult in a healthy person. If we calculate the amount during the entire day, we may come to know that around about 180 liter per day the glomerular filtrate is formed within the Bowman's capsule. And if this 180 liter of the filtrate is released and if it would not be reabsorbed, may different types of useful ions as well as different types of metabolites would be lost by the body, and as well as huge amount of water would be lost. To compensate that, huge amount of water would be required by the body. So to compensate that, there is a second step during the formation of urine, which is tubular reabsorption, in which from the glomerular filtrate which is present within the renal tubules of the PCT and the DCT, the descending limb, the ascending limb, the loop of Henle and the DCT, they are absorbed again back within the blood surrounding the capillaries formed by the vasa recta. So we may observe the flow of the filtrate within the descending limb of the loop of Henle is towards the downward direction, whereas in the ascending limb it is in the upward direction. Whereas the capillary formed by the efferent arteriole, it is just in the opposite way, means in the ascending limb it is in the upward direction, whereas the capillary surrounding the ascending limb is having the flow in the downward direction, as well as the capillary surrounding the descending limb of loop of Henle is having the flow of fluid in upward direction, which causes a counter current mechanism through which the urine formed is concentrated and is released through the body. So the selective transport of the substances across the epithelium of the nephron from the ultrafiltrate into the interstitial fluid is called the tubular reabsorption. So the substances which are reabsorbed again back from the filtrate present within the renal tubules again back to the capillary is called as tubular reabsorption. The process, it involves through two ways. One is the active transport, in which energy would be utilized, through which glucose, amino acids, vitamin C, sodium ions potassium ions and large amount of calcium ions are again reabsorbed back within the blood, whereas certain substances are reabsorbed through the passive transport method in which energy is not utilized. For example, water, bicarbonate ions, chloride ions, and small amount of urea. So as a which the urine it becomes concentrated due to the reabsorption of these substances within the capillary surrounding the Henle's loop, and thus the blood which is passing through this capillary it then finally unites to form the renal vein, and then it joins the inferior vena cava. Now the third step, which is the tubular secretion. So in which certain substances like potassium ions, ammonia and hydrogen ions are secreted directly into the lumen of the tubule, especially in the PCT region and in the DCT region. So this step is important in the formation of urine and helps to maintain the ionic balance and the pH of the body fluids. So after all, the urine thus formed is thus collected within the collecting duct with the help of collecting tubule, and finally the collecting duct of all the nephrons they unite together to form the ureter. Thus ureter from each of the kidney they joins to the urinary bladder where the urine is stored, and from time to time it is released out through the urethra. So we may calculate that the total glomerular filtrate which was formed in a normal adult healthy person was around about 180 liter per day, out of which about 99% of the glomerular filtrate is again reabsorbed back within the blood, and only rest 1% is released in the form of urine. So 99% of 180 liter it would be around about 178.5 liter, and it is reabsorbed again back, whereas 1% around about 1.5 liter per day the urine would be released from the body of a normal adult healthy person. So we may say that how the nephrons they help in the formation of urine through a sequence of steps and methods, and thus also helps to concentrate the urine to minimize the loss of water and other metabolites from the body from time to time. So let us recapitulate once more the facts. Do we have discussed the blood entering through the efferent arteriole within the glomerulus? It gets filtered out, and the filtrate which is formed within the Bowman's capsule is called as glomerular filtrate. And the rate do we have discussed, it is around about 180 liter per day in a normal adult healthy person, and the filtrate is then being again reabsorbed. Certain types of ions like sodium ions, potassium ions along with large amount of water, calcium ions, as well as different types of metabolites which are useful for the body, they are again reabsorbed by the capillary surrounding the Henle's loop formed by the efferent arteriole. So do we have discussed that around about 99% is reabsorbed again back within the blood. Rest about only 1% is released and is formed in the form of urine and is released from time to time in the form of urine. So Till so far here, we'll discuss about the artificial kidney or hemodialysis and excretion in plants in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.